Hi, this is Matthew. We're going to talk about another kind of. It's a series on Hallmark, but it's filmed in Canada, called When Calls the Heart. It is definitely a Hallmark series. Apparently, it's shown in Canada on Super Channel, which is kind of a premium movie kind of network, I think, if I remember right. I've not got to see that one. It is about a girl named Elizabeth Thatcher who comes to town. She's a school teacher, used to a very wealthy lifestyle. I don't remember if I think she's in Canada. Yeah, pretty sure. She must be in like Toronto or someplace. I'm not sure. She goes to Coal Valley, which apparently, according to Wikipedia, is near Robb, Alberta. I never knew where this town was. I've seen all 12 seasons. I didn't know where this town was. I never could tell because they do mention stuff in Ontario, where she's from. They do travel by train there. It's in 1910. It starts out there. She comes to town to teach school. She's never taught before. This is her first teaching job. And this town has had a lot of tragedy. There was a mine there that brought the town a lot of money, and it exploded. There was some mismanagement and stuff with the mining company. Killed 45 people. Most wives' husbands, probably some sons or even brothers, probably. I can't remember exactly, but quite a bit of town. Towns were that big, and if it's any remotely accurate, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff in that part of Canada in 1910. I was studying about Canadian history, so I could be sure of that. But according to this, there was not a lot going on, apart from mining and perhaps a railroad coming through. That obviously changes as the series goes along. But it starts in 1910. I don't think it's terribly historically accurate, but I do enjoy the series. Just goes through her, teaching. She does interested in a guy that she does marry. She does have a kid. He dies in 5 off screen. They don't show it. And now she's with another guy named Nathan in the current season, but I don't want to give too much away. It's more of an overview than a review per se. And there will be season 13. There have been 12 seasons. It started in 2014 and 12 ended in about April or May, I believe. There will be a 13th at some point. I don't know when. It did get renewed. It's probably filming by now, I'd imagine. Probably. They're in Vancouver, where they film it. But just the various, things that happen in the town, various students she helps out, various things happening in the town. Now, season 12, it's gotten into the 20s, I think, early 20s. It kind of ends with her boy gets diabetes, which I guess insulin was discovered in that same year, and they do try to find some insulin, and they have to go. I forget where they're going. It's like somewhere near Toronto. So they literally get in a car, and they start driving off. They're her and her kid, but then Nathan finds her and kind of jumps into the car as they're leaving town. Kind of like that's where it ended in 12. But lots of things happen in between. One thing that does bug me, though, is they make no mention of World War I, which I know Canada was involved in, even out that far. And they make no reference to the 1918 horrible flu epidemic that hit globally. There's no mention of any of that, which I know it's not happy stuff, but, they have happy and sad things that happen on the show. I don't know why they didn't even at least make a passing reference to them, but they don't. It's weird. 2 major events in the world, and they're not even... It's like they never happened. It's weird. I don't know why they chose to do that. I find that very, very strange. That is what it is. This was a book, I think. I don't know if it's a whole series, but I know it was definitely a book. I don't know more than that. I've not tried to look it up. I forgot it was a book, honestly. I do enjoy this thing. I didn't think I would. CBC in Canada did show it through season 6, and they haven't shown any since. Which sucks, because it was described there. Hallmark here did start describing it, I think, in 8, but it was the computer voice lady they use a lot, who I cannot stand, or its male equivalent. I don't like how they inflect. They say some words kind of weird, and they are compressed lower than the main audio. I don't care for it, but they do use them on some of the movies and stuff on there, unfortunately. But they used the female version in 6, or in I think 8. I think 9 onwards have been the lady that CBC used, which I assume she was used since on Super Channel over there. I have no way of checking. Please, someone in Canada check. I've not found a way to get to a Canadian provider to check things like that. I would love to check them, but I have no way of doing that. Obviously, now the tracks are the same, but I don't think Hallmark has gone back to do the others. I hope they have. I'm going to check my YouTube TV DVR and see if I can find an early season and check, but I was hoping it was on right now as I record this, but it was not, so I couldn't check it. Heartland was, oddly enough, guys. See my other review on Heartland. It was not described here, so I wanted to check that real quick. But see my other review on Heartland, whenever that gets put up. But yeah, I don't know if it's described earlier than I think 8. I hope they went back. I mean, they've done a lot of stuff on there now with movies and some older ones, even with the computer, even though they're computer voiced people. But yeah, this show definitely is at least getting described now, which is great because there are some visuals. Yeah, it's just a very enjoyable show. Again, nothing too horribly complicated. No language at all in this show. Very clean. Anyone can watch it if that bothers people. And these kinds of shows, it is not. It is. Netflix has it. I know Prime is all the way caught up with it. Hallmark Plus, their streaming service, has it. Peacock did, but Hallmark obviously wants you to get their service, so they're no longer on Peacock. So don't look for it there. I just checked; it is gone. They only had, I think, 7 through 12 anyway. They didn't have all of it. They did when I watched it. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the Hallmark, the free Hallmark TV app. Never mind. Yeah, they have all of it on Hallmark now. Peacock did have all of it when they had it. Again, not described. An annoyance with Hallmark, though, on this show and other things they have, the audio description tracks are not on Hallmark Plus, which is very annoying. They do not what they call travel with the series, which is bizarre, because they are clearly right there, and how hard would it be to send over those files with the show? Yeah, never mind. Minor annoyance. But you can watch it there if you have not caught up or haven't seen it. If you can VPN into Canada, you can get CBC through 6 and get it described there. I don't know. You might try to get, if you have a way to get to a cable provider, to try to watch it on Hallmark if they show it soon. Maybe they will show some back seasons, and maybe you can catch up that way. But I just watched 7 onwards on Peacock, and I just put up with it. Not being described. Of course, now it's on. I'm sorry, Netflix does not have One Calls the Heart. I'm sorry. They have Heartland. My bad. Netflix does not have One Calls the Heart in this country. Maybe it does in your country, but not here. It's just Hallmark Plus here and Prime. I'm not sure if you can purchase or not. I didn't check that. Didn't check the audio tracks either. I don't think it has description. I've not seen it come up that I know of. And I know, I think some of the like Sling TV and some of the on-demand services have it. I don't think Hallmark has anything with Tubi or Pluto for free. I don't know why. I think they have. I don't think they have anything like that. Weirdly enough, as popular as their Christmas movies are, I'm surprised they don't have. This show does have some Christmas episodes sporadically in their early seasons. They haven't had any since like 6 or 7. Oddly enough, they have not had any Christmas episodes or specials since they had a New Year's one even at one point. But no Christmas. Weirdly, as Christmas based as Hallmark is nowadays, they haven't had any Christmas episodes at all for several seasons now. And the Lori Loughlin scandal that happened in 6. I guess they just kind of edited her scenes out, and they showed half the season, then they had to wait and show the rest of it for several months after. And they just say that her character went to be with her sick mother, and she's just gone. No reference to her at all. I think someone got a letter from her once, I think. And that's it. She should have done that, but I don't know if they totally should have just thrown her under the bus like that. But that's what they just removed her from everything they were doing. Yeah, she should have done it. She did do her time. I don't know what she's doing now, obviously, but she's just gone from the series. She was a pretty pivotal member of the town, really. But yeah, she just isn't there anymore. they just wrote her out. I guess they just took her scenes out of the shows, so they had to go and retool them and edit them again, and I guess that delayed it a bit. She's in the first half, and then she just because Elizabeth usually has letters or journals she writes, and certain parts of the show you'll hear her speaking her journal entries. So yeah, that was I think one of hers. I think it's a neat, fun show. Very interesting. Probably not for historical accuracy, but I do enjoy it. I do like the people in the town. Some of them are kind of quirky, like shows like this are, especially some people in small towns are kind of that way. Just kind of life in rural Canada and in the frontier in that time period. They haven't been a country as long as we have, but things didn't move as fast as far as getting stuff out that far. But obviously now you wouldn't even know that this had ever happened, just like here. So yeah, very enjoyable. Definitely on anything Hallmark related, Hallmark Plus, or you can try to catch it on the channel. Easy way to get Hallmark is just to get Friendly TV, get one of their plans. They have all the channels there. So does YouTube TV, and probably other providers. But yeah, as far as fairly affordable, fairly cheap, Friendly TV is what if you really just want Hallmark stuff. They have other kind of friendly and some Christian-based things, but a pretty easy way to get Hallmark. I mean, you can get the basic. Well, you can get their basic plan, but you have the DVR, so I would get the other two above that if you want to record shows. And it does have audio description there on that channel, and a few others. So does YouTube TV, and I think DirecTV has it on their streaming stuff and other things. So you definitely look for, if you need audio description like I do, you might want to see if they have it before you get one. But I know those definitely have it. Probably others as well. Let's see. Oh, Philo has it too, for sure. They're more expensive, but do they have Hallmark? I think pretty sure they do have Hallmark on there. Almost positive. Yeah, but they do show When Calls the Heart there sporadically when it's not a current season. I know they do show it some when it is, or right when it's about to be on. They will show like the last season or something, I think. But neat show, interesting show. Maybe not historically accurate, but I do enjoy it. Pretty simple stuff, nothing too complicated. If you just want a nice show to have on and just not have to think about too much, this is a good one. They do have radio now in the show. They have a station, and they have telephones. There's even a telephone, of course, dispatch operator lady. I think there's another one now. I think there's she has another operator too, I think, but there was one. They have like a newspaper, things that you would have in a town of that size at that time. I think they have a telegraph person. I know there's a railroad there. There's a train station. Sure, they have a telegraph guy too. I'm pretty sure that was still been a thing. Somewhat even in the 20s, I would think, but I can't recall. I think they have other people. There's like a saloon, and of course they have the school where Elizabeth teaches, and other people in the town. There's a lot of people in town. Too many to mention. But yeah, it's a fun little show. Nothing else, you can get a try at Hallmark Plus and watch some of it. But there are, just check around, check other ways to get it. There might be other avenues out there. Obviously, if you're not here in the U.S., check your country, see what's going on there. They might have other ways to get it. But that's all I know right now about it. There's a new season coming. I'm probably in 26, I would imagine. Maybe spring or so. It kind of moves. It's never in a consistent time. It's weird. Their shows never air in any consistent slots, I find. I watched one other kind of sci-fi based one. I might at some point try to do a review of it. Very different than what they usually show. This is kind of typical Hallmark stuff, but that was a little different just because it is a sci-fi show. There is some time travel in the other show, but I might do a review on it at some point. As for When Calls the Heart, there was a When Hope Calls, apparently. That was some kind of spinoff. That was when Hallmark Plus was called Hallmark Now. I think it had one season, but I think it had moved to Great American Family, so I don't know if they even have it, But obviously, Up Faith and Family, PureFlix, I think is what they have. It might be over there, if you have PureFlix. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure where, unless it's like, maybe both have it, but maybe only a season each, or maybe PureFlix has both. I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but I didn't even know it was a thing. That's before I was watching it, so I don't know what it was even about, or who was in it, or who they spun off. I've never watched it, unfortunately. I can't say. But definitely give this one a look. I do enjoy it, as I said, so I think that will do that for now. I will see you guys in another video.